But yeah, I was watching She-Hulk actually this past weekend, the first episode, and I'm like, the CGI isn't. It's okay, man. It's not really cutting it for me.
Yeah, the budget is probably not as good for this show. You know, they probably just threw something together really quick. But Bruce looks good.
I'm just gonna let everyone know who's listening right now who haven't watched She-Hulk that's on Disney Plus. There's gonna be a lot of spoilers because we already watched the first episode, but go ahead and check it out, She-Hulk on Disney Plus.
Yeah. What do you like? Did you enjoy the first episode?
It was it was entertaining. I'll give you that. It's entertaining. The way that she gained her Hulk powers, I was like, all right, come on. That's a reach.
That quick.
That's a reach.
They did that real quick, didn't they? It just happened so fast.
It really did. And she just started poking out right there.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the first episode was cool. I understand why people are kind of upset about the female empowerment. But at the same time, bro, who cares? Like, well, you don't have to watch it. Like, if you're going to be angry at it, you knew what to expect.
I see where they were going with it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
tell me a little bit about She-Hulk from the comics. I don't know too much about, the Marvel when it comes to She-Hulk.
I never read too many of her comics specifically, but I know she was a part of Fantastic Four. She was the first character in Marvel to actually break the fourth wall. People get that mixed up with Deadpool. She was the first one to do it.
Oh, nice.
But it's really just the comic in the show is made for women. I mean, women, like, if you really think about it, women enjoy law shows. My wife loves those kind of shows. So she actually really enjoyed the first episode. And I just enjoy, because she doesn't watch a lot of the Marvel stuff with me.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that it's something I can watch with her because she likes it. So I get why some dudes are mad that it's like kind of pushing women empowerment or that or whatever. But at the same time, bro, you don't have to watch it. Just like you don't have to read the comic. Like,
I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm okay with them pushing the woman empowerment thing. I mean, it's to be expected. I didn't like the way they made the Hulk seem like a punk. Like they made,
I don't think he was trying. I think that's the thing people get mixed up. He could have destroyed her, in that fight. But it's kind of like they're like really good, like cousins. They're cousins.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't want to beat the crap out of my female cousin. Like even though I probably can, I wouldn't want to do it. I mean, growing up as a kid, I was close to a lot of my female cousins, and we would get into fights and stuff. But it's like, that's family.
No,
and I saw one dude say that he didn't like the way.
That's understandable. It's just to me, it's just I didn't like the way they made him seem. But I did realize that he was holding back. I mean, he didn't want to hurt her. She was new to being a Hulk, and the Hulk is super powerful. So I mean, I understand that sentiment.
I mean, if people really have a serious problem with how they made Hulk seem in this movie, I mean, I felt that way in Endgame. So, and I felt that way in Infinity War.
So look at it this way. As they kept...
Yeah.
So from the first Hulk movie that was in the MCU to like now, it looked like just Hulk just kind of like... He became less and less of the Hulk. Like, I feel like probably Ragnarok Hulk was probably the strongest. But I might be wrong. But I just me personally, I feel like he was more of like a warrior in Ragnarok. Like he was just super strong.
Yeah, they nerfed him in some movies. They nerfed him in the first Avengers. He was, I think, for me, it had to be a toss-up between the Hulk from Thor Ragnarok and the Incredible Hulk from the first movie with Norton. Yeah, but they nerfed him in the first Avengers movie. So he's been getting nerfed throughout the MCU over the last decade or so. So I get it. And really, in reality, Smart Hulk is just Bruce Banner's personality.
And Bruce Banner body
isn't like a tough. Yeah, he's not a tough guy. He doesn't come off as a tough guy. That's who he is. He's not some tough guy. But like I said, I understand it. I understand why people get annoyed with it or why people feel some type of way about it. But I feel like every time it's like a female-led movie, an MCU or led show. It kind of, other than really WandaVision, and I want to say maybe Black Widow, but the Captain Marvel and SheHulk get a lot of backlash for trying to push female empowerment. Like I said, man, it's not that, I don't take it that serious.
It's not that big of a deal.
Like, I get it.
Just watch the movie.
Yeah, it's not. Exactly.
So here, more so of, I'm trying to think, when we talk about like the cast, like I know they're bringing back Eli Roth to play what's his Hulk's nemesis? I can't.
Is it not that? Is it the Abomination?
Abomination. Yeah, that's what it is.
Is that an Abomination?
That's what it has to be. It's like a gray version of the Hulk. It's really ugly. They're bringing him back.
I watched the second episode, by the way. So
I got you. I haven't watched the second episode. I still
so I don't want to spoil it, but
take some time to watch it. But yeah, because so Eli Roth was in the Incredible Hulk, the one with Edward Norton, and he's actually reprising his role, reviving that role. So he's going to be in the show. But
yeah, like I said, people just got to give the show a chance and watch it all the way through. The first episode really pushed the female stuff and how she can control her anger because she's been going through that her whole life or whatnot. Her story is not going to be the same as Bruce. Bruce he probably always had anger problems, and had his own issues internally, but didn't know how to express it. Typically, what she said wasn't wrong. Now, all men aren't pervs. All men aren't what they try to make us seem to be. Yeah. But there are some men that are. So like the other day, some creep, my sister, she lives in Vegas. Some creep was trying to holler at her. My sister literally, she was leaving work to go to her lunch break, walking to her car. And she said she's not interested. This dude walked away, got in his car, pulled back around, and still was harassing her. So it does happen to women.
Yeah, that's super creepy.
We can't act like it doesn't. Yeah, we can't act like it doesn't happen. It's not the majority, but it happens. Yeah, so you really can't be mad at it.
That's a tough reality too to live in. But yeah, that's super. I don't know. If I were a female, I'd keep my guards up too and kind of be like, I wouldn't feel like not necessarily insecure, just feel like afraid and kind of like standoffish if I'm always being approached in that manner. So I understand.
It's kind of like a protection mechanism. I know it's probably a better term.
Defense mechanism. Yep.
Yeah, defense mechanism. In women, just because naturally men are stronger. So with me having a daughter my wife is a 2nd degree black belt. She could defend herself, but with me having a little girl, like it kind of made me realize like women are a little more vulnerable than men. Like most men will outpower most women. So I understand why women have their guards up a lot, because you may not be a bad guy, right? You may not be a perv. You may not be a jerk, but every woman at least once experienced someone like that. So you gotta men have to sometimes just understand.
The statistic is high for that. Yeah, I completely understand.
And like I said, it's not all of us. All of us aren't like that. So
yeah, it's understandable as to why they would kind of feel like they need to be defensive. But She-Hulk. What do you expect for the season? To be honest, I really haven't been watching too many of the shows that Disney Plus has been putting out for the Marvel. I'm kind of like glancing at it.
I've watched every show so far. I've watched every show. I expect it to be some really good cameos in She-Hulk, and it's going to talk about or hint at new heroes or bringing new characters into the MCU.
Howard the Duck. They might as well.
Some people
isn't Howard the Duck part of She-Hulk? Isn't he in She-Hulk?
Probably.
The thing is, it's funny. Howard the Duck was one of the first Marvel movies they produced, but not for the MCU. Like a long time.
Generally. Yeah. A lot of people don't know there's a Captain America movie that was in the 90s. I think
it's like a Thor
SpiderMan movie was in the 90s. The order, yeah, all those things happen.
Yeah.
But I like Daredevil's definitely going to be in SheHulk. They already, some people are saying like they introduced Wolverine or hinted at Wolverine in the second episode. I didn't see it, but I have to go back and rewatch. I think the show is going to progressively get better once people get over the female empowerment stuff. They had to do that in the first episode. It's not that much in the second episode at all, but they had to do it in the first episode.
Kind of like
to set the standard.
Yeah. Kind of draw you in a little bit.
Yeah. So, like I said, I understand why men are a little upset. We don't like it getting forced down our throats or pushed in our face. But you have to understand the MCU also has to cater to a female audience.
Yeah.
So, like, I didn't like Ms. Marvel that much, but I
still have not watched it. Someone told me it's more for kids, and I'm like,
yeah, that's exactly. Exactly. I didn't really enjoy it, and it was okay to me. But
like I said,
I'm not going to sit here and bash it.
I'm probably just have to watch like the quick version. When it comes to the movies, if there's going to have to be like a show that I had to have watched to understand what's going on in the movies, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna have to watch that quick version because to be honest, I've never been a fan of like superhero TV shows ever. Never. Not at all.
Really?
Never did Smallville, never did Gotham, never did The Punisher, never did Jessica Jones. Yeah. Whatever, the guy with the fists, that guy, never.
Iron Fist,
yeah.
Okay. The Punisher season 1 is amazing. Daredevil season 1 and season 3 are really good. Jessica Jones season 1 is one of the best superhero TV seasons ever. You're missing out, bro. You gotta go back and watch. I rewatch those at least once a year. Like seriously, all of them.
The thing is,
we watched them all this January.
The thing is with me. If it's a superhero, I want you to tell the story fast. Now, I know that they're using these movies or the shows to kind of like build up the story, kind of like the characters who aren't, I'm not going to say like lesser, but not as impactful in the MCU. They're kind of like using it to build up the story. I understand that.
Like street level heroes.
Yeah. But at the same time, I'm just like, I don't know.
Technically, SpiderMan is a street level hero. He's just so popular that they put him in all these big movies.
He was pushed hard. So, I mean, his story, I know his story for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's the same thing over and over.
But I love Daredevil. Daredevil was one of my favorite characters in period. You should watch him, bro. You're missing out, man. The shows... eventually you're going to have to understand what's going on because Ms. Marvel is directly related to the Marvels that is coming out. WandaVision is directly related to a bunch of things. Loki's directly related to everything that's about to happen in this phase.
I'll level with you like this. I did watch all of WandaVision. I did watch all of Loki. And I did watch Falcon and Winter Soldier. All of that. I watched every episode. But that's because they were more in the movies. Those characters were more in the movies. I mean, I didn't even finish Hawkeye because I'm like, all right, man, like he really actually just shooting bows and arrows, man. Come on.
Honestly, people go bash me for this. Hawkeye has been my favorite Marvel show so far.
Really?
For the Disney Plus shows, just for the Disney Plus shows, not like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, but I really enjoy Hawkeye for some reason, bro. Like I can rewatch it and over and over again. A lot of people didn't like it. I just thought it had a good balance of fun. And a good balance of action. I just enjoyed it. And, Hawkeye doesn't get a lot of shine in the movies. So it's good to see him in the lead role. Plus, I've always been a big fan of Kate Bishop. And I think Haley Steinfeld, I think that's her last name. She's excellent in that role, man. And I can't wait to see her and do like movies or, something bigger than just a TV show.
Yeah. But just to get you on that note, as far as like the ones that I've watched, the thing that I was most disappointed about is when watching WandaVision, when the Silver, what was it? I forgot his name. The
White Vision?
No, not White Vision.
Oh, Quicksilver.
Quicksilver, yeah. When Quicksilver shows up in the end of one of those episodes, I'm like, oh shoot, They're about to do it. They're about to introduce the X-Men. And they screwed up that. They dropped that. They fouled penalty on the play. What did y'all do with that? Come on, Disney.
I think they didn't want to introduce the mutants quite yet. I think that's what it was. That'd have been way too early.
Then why did they do it?
Because just because they could.
Oh boy.
Honestly, just because they could.
They really got our hopes up.
Yeah, I mean, in the future, he might be Quicksilver. We don't know. You know, is it the multiverse? It could be.
My question
is possible.
Is X-Men my favorite of anything in Marvel?
Your favorite?
Yeah.
That is your favorite?
Yes.
You're asking.
I know it's so. Why would I ask like that? It is.
It confused me for a second.
Like X-Men, it's always been my favorite, my absolute favorite out of anything.
Yeah.
More than SpiderMan, more than Thor, Captain America, Hulk. All like X-Men is my absolute favorite.
Yeah, X-Men is kind of a cheat code because, you know, Spider-Man stands on his own, you know, but the X-Men has so many different characters that it's just not fair. But yeah, I've always personally had a special place in my heart for the X-Men. Do you have a favorite X-Men?
Gambit.
Yeah,
Gambit's my favorite. No questions asked. I just like the way that his fighting style, the fact that his power to use kinetic energy and make things explode.
Yeah, he's badass, bro.
I know he's obviously not the strongest, but he's my favorite.
Yeah, your favorite.
Yeah, your favorite is your favorite.
Strongest man is. Yeah. Growing up, my favorite was Wolverine. I always liked Wolverine, but and when the movie started blowing up, everybody jumped on this bandwagon. So, I've always liked the younger characters like Iceman, Pyro. I think that's his name.
What about Cyclops?
I've never really been a big fan of Cyclops. His powers are so annoying to me.
He's kind of a do-gooder, kind of like you really don't have no story that you like. I mean, I know he's got a backstory, but still, kind of like a punk.
His powers are incredible. Yeah. He's very strong. But I never. His powers are just weird to me. I know they're powerful, but like, damn, that sucks. You can't control your eyes, bro. Like, that's terrible. So, but he is a decent character. Nightcrawler. Yeah, I've always liked the less popular characters in X-Men. And I like the X-Men because they have a variety of different type of people, like villains and heroes. It's crazy.
To be honest,
but yeah,
X-Men is the reason why I started watching My Hero Academia, because
when
they described the show before it aired, when they described that it's going to be like an anime version of My Hero Academia or an anime version of X-Men. That's why I started watching. I'm like, okay, that sounds legit. I love X-Men, so that's the reason why.
That makes sense. I mean, I never thought about it like that, but I mean, My Hero is kind of like X-Men.
They all have a variety of powers. They're all like learning how to use them in school.
I mean, technically, they would be categorized as mutants.
Yeah.
Because the difference, I always wondered what the difference was between a mutant and a superhero. A mutant was born with, in Marvel, a mutant was technically born with their powers. You think about it, because the Fantastic Four wasn't born with their powers. Nope. Spider-Man wasn't born with his powers. Captain America wasn't born with his powers. Thor is a guy, he doesn't count. Hulk wasn't born with his powers. So I always was confused growing up, but then I realized, okay, X-Men mutants were born with their abilities. The other heroes got their abilities some other way. So that's how I differentiate the two. And I always wonder why mutants were frowned upon, but people love Captain America, or people love whatever hero, Spider-Man. Actually, in the comics, people love or hate Spider-Man. So
because of the way he's a vigilante. I don't know. He could seem like a menace. He could seem like a threat, but he really isn't. He's just trying the best to be live a normal life as a person, but also protect the city. That's kind of difficult.
I look at it like this. Imagine being 15, 16 years old and all of a sudden have these abilities. You're gonna make mistakes.
You can mess up a lot of things.
Facts, bro. Yeah,
because you're still learning how to. You're still learning to be like an adult, or like growing in. You're still growing up. You're still growing up, but at the same time, you have to learn fast because now you have this responsibility to protect the city and the people that you care about. Make sure everyone's safe.
Yeah, bro. That's why I always liked Tom Holland Spider-Man because he was like the most realistic to me. He didn't have it figured out. Like, was it it's Tobey Maguire, right?
Tobey Maguire, yeah. He was the
like once he got his once he got his powers, he learned so fast and became the best version of Spider-Man in one movie. Andrew Garfield was a little different, but he still learned how to use his powers really in the first movie. But Tom Holland Spider-Man, when we first meet him, he still didn't really know how to use his powers. He didn't know how to be a superhero. He was a real street level hero until Tony Stark took him under his wing
and gave him the suit.
Even so, throughout every movie, he makes a ton of mistakes. And he's really like a teenager getting superpowers and trying their best to keep their personal life and their superhero life separate while keeping everybody safe. So that's why I like Tom Holland Spider-Man. I think it's the most realistic version of Spider-Man.
I feel like that starting the Homecoming to No Way Home, I feel like he was using his suit a lot in the first movie, and then as each movie progressed, he used the suit less and less, and he kind of like more tapped into being what Spider-Man is, and kind of more tapped in the role. Like actually started using his powers. I don't know, because seriously, like in the first one, his suit, I felt like he was doing all the work. Like he was talking to the suit, and the suit was giving him pointers and tips. I was like, this ain't Spider-Man.
Yeah, well, he was a 15-year-old kid, man. That if it wasn't for the suit's AI, he probably would have been dead.
Yeah.
So that's why I appreciate Tom Holland Spider-Man. And for the people bullying him because he deleted social media, you guys are a piece of shit. Like, that's fucked up.
Tom Holland.
He deleted social media because he was having a mental breakdown, and people are being assholes about it. Like, dude, let this man. He's still a human, bro. Like, even though he's a superstar, he's human. So you assholes need to leave him alone. But yeah, I just like his version of Spider-Man. I'm not saying he's the best version. I just think he's the most realistic version, the most relatable version of Spider-Man that we've seen on the big screen.
No, I understand what you're saying. I wasn't saying that, I wasn't criticizing or anything.
I was just saying in general.
Just to me, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, I feel like there's some life lessons there when you're watching his Spider-Man. And I feel like when you're watching his movies, it's more like the romance between him and Mary Jane, but his movies are action packed. All of them. It's more focusing on him.
Yeah, each Spider-Man was great in their own way. Obviously, Toby has the nostalgic factor.
Yeah.
We were kids, when it came out, we're always going to look at him as Spider-Man. I feel bad for Andrew because Andrew was he was a really good Spider-Man. They did him dirty. He didn't deserve the criticism that people were giving him because he tried his best. I mean, it's not his fault the scripts were bad. Yeah. And shout out to all of them, man. I'm glad No Way Home was able to bring them together, and we can actually celebrate all of the Spider-Man that we've had over the last 2 decades, and rather than comparing them and criticizing them. So,
no, yeah. Shout out to Spider-Man.